What's up, y'all? Welcome into the warm-up show here on Grind City Media. He's Michael Wallace. I'm Whitaker. We're still warming things up here, but we're back. We're back at it for the final preseason home game of the run-up here to the 25-26 NBA regular season for your Memphis Grizzlies. Mike, welcome back.
Hey, likewise, man.
We haven't done this in a while, right?
It's been since what, May?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Last
since
home playoff game.
Playoff game against Oklahoma City. So back at it, man. Looking forward to it. Bigger and better. Let's get this thing warmed up.
Yeah, we got to warm up. That's part of the thing. So we might have little things here and there. That's why we're with you for the preseason. It's our training camp.
Yeah. Same
way it is for all the Grizzlies and everybody else. The Grizzlies enter tonight's game against the Atlanta Hawks 0-2 on the preseason. Atlanta Hawks also winless, 0-1. But the Grizzlies, we saw them play the game one where we already know Ja's out, Brandon Clark's out, Jaren's out, a couple of injuries.
Zach Edey.
Mm-hmm. Game one, they used most of their kind of guys who were going to be in the rotation that were available. Game two, hardly any of those guys played.
Right.
Looks like tonight some of those guys are back. So we'll see what kind of lineups the Grizzlies use, rotations they use. Mike, what do you think we should expect to see from this Grizzlies team as they try to learn Coach Thomas Isolo's system?
You know, they have to have their guys. They have to have the pieces of the puzzle on the floor.
Yeah.
There's really no way that you can evaluate this team because a lot of us aren't in practice, right? So it's one thing to build the trust, and you say that you're building, you're growing, you know, these things are coming connected. The team is getting better, and there's improvement. But when we're seeing a disjointed lineup out here, it's hard to understand where that growth is. So seeing these guys in real life at live action, seeing them out here on the floor, I think tonight will be more of a true test like the first preseason game was.
I think so, too. Let's also talk tonight about Coach Thomas Isolo. We mentioned him. He took over late last season.
Yeah.
Famously only had like 2 practices between the end of the season and the playoffs, and didn't really have time. He's had some time now in this preseason to install his offense, install his system, get the team playing the way he wants them to play. Mm-hmm. And this morning at shoot-around, we had a chance to catch up with Scottie Pippen Jr., who talked a little bit about what it's like playing for Coach Isolo so far.
I played for a few former players, so I wouldn't say that. I think he is super smart. You could tell, like, some of his, like, analogies and, like, the way he compares stuff to, like, off-court stuff. Like, he had a funny thing yesterday about, like, the movie and just compared it to the way we should play. And certain stuff like that, you just think, like, that he's smart. Like, it wouldn't be like, because some former players, they might be able to describe it to you, but they're not describing it in such detail where you might be able to see it yourself. So,
What movie was it? Yeah.
Jurassic Park. He said something about like testing the defense, and he put an analogy. So if you guys ask him, I'll let him say it. But it was something that like made me think about, like, oh, okay.
Scotty bounced around for a minute, but now yours.
So, Mike, because we leave no stone unturned and our reporting never stops, tonight during the pregame media availability, I asked Coach Isolo about that moment and about that analogy and about Jurassic Park, and here's what he said about it.
This is essentially coaching is teaching, and the lingo we use with the coaches or that analytics uses, it's not very relatable for the players, and it's not important for them to like know all the numbers or the terms behind them. They must know what the intent is and why we're doing that. And the Jurassic Park reference is the Velociraptor scene, and in one of the beginning stages of the movie where they're like, how smart are the Velociraptors? And they're like, they test the fence every 15 minutes. So that's what we want our offense to be like, that at the same time we are very aggressive. Every situation is used to try to attack, but if it's not there, we move it to the next action and then attack from there, just like Velociraptors.
He also told me that when he used that analogy with the players, only 2 or 3 of the players had seen Jurassic Park.
Right.
And they all knew Jurassic World, the more recent version.
Yes, that's the one I thought.
No, he's talking about the original, the OG, the Steven Spielberg one.
Velociraptors, right?
Yeah.
Velociraptors,
so you want some testing things, testing the limits of the defense.
Yes.
You've been at training camp and you've been around. They were in Nashville, now they're back here. Like, what's been your biggest takeaway from watching these guys so far in training camp?
I'll tell you what, man, the backcourt is solid. Like, I'm convinced that, you know, Ty Jerome and Kentavious Caldwell-Pope will definitely boost that backcourt with John Morant, obviously, and some of the guys on the wing. Jalen Wells, you know, he's going to get his shot again, obviously, and from that situation, Scottie Pippen Jr. I like that small guard, big guard kind of lineup combinations with Cedric Coward. I'm, on the other hand, concerned about the bigs. And there's just not a lot of rebounding. There's not a lot of athleticism. There's not a lot of speed when you don't have Jaren Jackson Jr. or Zach Edey there. So as confident as I am in the front, in the wing, in the backcourt, I'm equally as, you know, concerned about the front court.
I wonder, I hadn't thought about this till you were talking about it, but like the way the NBA is today, like there's sort of an emphasis on front court anyway. I mean, backcourt.
Wing.
Wing, like
big
just
wings.
Guards and wings. Like you saw Oklahoma City basically bench their center in the finals, you know, like because the way the games are being played. So maybe you're able to get by for a little while without that big front court presence of a Zach Edey, of a Jaren, of Brandon Clark. Too.
That's going to be tough, though. It is tough because even when you're benching Hardenstein, you still had a 7'2" guy, unicorn. You know what I mean? And Chet Holmgren. So the Grizzlies don't have either one of that magnitude right now. We have a unicorn, but he's within the limits of that fence that Isolo was talking about. He hadn't tested the fence yet.
He hasn't been able to test the fence. Hopefully he doesn't get shocked when he tests the fence. You mentioned Cedric Coward sort of in passing. We saw him get some serious minutes in Game 2 against the Celtics. Game 1 was out there, got 6-7 shots, but, you know, kind of struggled. Didn't make a field goal. Game 2 started slowly, but by that fourth quarter, it seemed like he had kind of found a groove a little bit. We have some sound here. You talked to him after that Game 2 about what his adjustment has been going from, what was he, 13th overall pick? 11th overall pick to the NBA, and what the expectations are like.
Through some of the growing pains and getting extended minutes right now because some of those guys are out. How much of a benefit is that to sort of grow from game to game to game?
It's great, honestly. Like, I think for me, like you said, it's growth. You got to go through those growing pains. You got to make those mistakes, and you'd rather make them now, kind of when the game's, you know, as bad as it is to say, the games really don't count right now. So, you know, to our 82-game season. But at the same time, each game does matter in terms of what you are doing out there on the court. And for me, like Jalen said, it's just a next man up mentality. A lot of guys are being able to play extended minutes and different roles because other guys are out. You know, it sucks. We want all those guys healthy, every single one, to be able to play with and have our whole team healthy. But at the same time, like, it's just a next man up mentality.
So this is a guy who hadn't played a competitive basketball game in almost a year because of the injury he had at Washington State last year. He played 6 games and then got hurt. And so we're kind of seeing him shake the rust off in real time. What has been your takeaway from watching Cedric Coward as he tries to get into the groove here?
Just when you hear him talk, he's so mature. There's a professional maturity, a level of confidence, a level of I'm not going to get too down on myself. I'm also going to hold myself to the highest standard. So he's relatable from that standpoint. He's able to process in a lot of ways. And I think the rhythm is going to come. It's going to come. The shot is going to come. I think instinctively he's going to have to be a defender first and run the floor and get easy transition opportunities first before we even get to see him scratch the surface of what he can be offensively.
You use the word confidence. The word that I think of when I hear him talk is self-assured. Like, you know, he kind of feels like, you feel like he understands his place in all this, and it's been a rocket ride like the last year and a half for him, going from Division II all the way to this, but he understands, like, I'm kind of built for this, and I'm going to figure out a way to make it work.
And it's a gamble because, again, you're asking a lot of trust because the Grizzlies trusted this enough to trade up to go get him, and we'll see if it pays off.
Before we take a break, let's look at injuries. I mean, we mentioned earlier, we know John Morant's out, Brandon Clark's out, Zach Edey's out, Jaren Jackson Jr. out tonight. We're not sure who else is out. He mentioned Scottie Pippen's dealing with a minor toe irritation. Coach Isolo said that. So he's out tonight, but I think some of those other guys we're going to see tonight,
Kenny Caldwell-Pope will be back. Ty Jerome will be back. Jock Landale will be back. So the 3 newcomer veterans that the team added who played on the first preseason game against Detroit will be back. So we'll be able to see, you know, some semblance of that continuity try to get established tonight.
Maybe we get a win tonight. That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
It won't hurt. I mean, it's been 2 blowouts, man, in the preseason. So, let's get some confidence.
Get a win. All right.
Or at least a good half.
I'll take that, too. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back on the other side of this, Jessica Benson's going to join us. You're watching the warm-up show here on Grind City Media.
Bargatze.
Look, I say a lot of dumb stuff. I try to keep it in front of large groups. Seems to go better that way.
Big Dumb Eyes World Tour.
When you say something dumb one-on-one, it's a lot for that person. I'll say it, then I can just feel that they feel the weight of my life on their shoulders.
Tickets and info at NateBargatze.com. Don't miss the Big Dumb Eyes World Tour. Nate Bargatze.
Catch us if you can at Southland Casino Hotel and win your share of up to $1.8 million in free play and prizes. Join us for drawings every Saturday in May, June, and July. Each month, over 900 winners will take home free play or drive off in a new car or motorcycle. Be there for all 6 grand finale drawings and try to catch us if you can, only at Southland Casino Hotel. Must be 21 up. Play responsibly. For help quitting, call 800-522-4700.
Grizz Nation, don't foul out on dinner plans. Hit Sticks Express in downtown Memphis instead. Fresh hibachi, steak, shrimp, sushi tacos, and yes, our legendary sake slushy to keep things cool. Order online with code STIX901, STIX901, and knock 10% off your tab. It's the perfect pick and roll for game night. Sticks Express, fast, fresh, always a slam dunk. And hey, come see us at our Collierville location too.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the warm-up show here on Grind City Media. I'm Lane Whitaker, courtside, along with Jessica Benson.
Me. I realize it's the preseason. I've got like a nice little bump in my hair.
We're warming up. This is our time to warm up as well as the players. We're ramping up.
Yeah, we
getting
are.
Our minutes
Yikes.
in. And we'll figure this junk out at some point. So Jessica joins me every show and talks about tonight's main character, the main character for the game of the night.
Yes.
Who is tonight's main character, Jessica?
Dinosaurs.
Which ones?
Velociraptors.
Oh, the Velociraptors.
Not the Toronto Raptors, Velociraptors. No, I think the preseason continues to be an opportunity to understand Tomasi Slo's system, right? No matter who's playing any given night, and although we do have an opportunity to see some of those veterans again tonight, be it Ty Jerome, Kenny Caldwell-Pope, and Jock Landau, it's more about these continuous reps. If there's something I've picked up from Tomasi Slo, it does not matter that the last 2 games we saw from the Grizzlies weren't particularly enjoyable to watch. They're collecting various, and not to go back to old terminology, but data points, but experience for a lot of these younger players, and experience for everybody running his system. And I know you shared the clip of Scottie Pippen Jr. telling you all at media availability this morning, hey, ask him about the Jurassic Park reference. And so you asked him about the Jurassic Park reference, and he wants this offense to operate like the Velociraptors in Jurassic Park, where they're testing the fences as much as they can. And basically this idea of just pushing and pushing, going for that first option, attacking constantly. If that doesn't work, go to the next one. And we've seen that in early stages. Obviously, until John Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr. are back in the mix, we won't entirely get the concept, but we can start seeing little trickles of it.
You just don't want to be the little kid who hits the fence and gets electrocuted.
That'd be bad.
What do you take out of, like, you mentioned data points. That was one of Taylor Jenkins' old phrases we hear all the time. Isalo seems to have his own set of phrases. Have you heard, like, construction sites the other day? He mentioned having things in your library tonight.
Paralysis by analysis was excellent.
Yeah. How do you rate his coach speak so far?
Awesome.
Yeah.
I actually rate his just speak, period, very refreshing. He is in depth. It doesn't seem as if he's hiding a whole lot. He's pretty transparent. Obviously, you're never going to give away government secrets if you're a coach, but I appreciate his elongated answers on various topics, on different players, giving a better idea. I loved, coming out of last post-game, his comments on Jalen Wells and the improvements that he's made, his comments on Santi Aldama, Brevin Knight's here, and Santi's toolkit that they look forward to. I like getting a peek behind the curtain. Those are the kind of things that sometimes stay a little closer to the vest, and instead seeing the full vision. Again, those are nice ways to make this preseason mean more than simply having watched 2 blowout Grizzlies losses, per se.
You know where he learned English?
American pop culture.
Slam Magazine.
In Slam Magazine.
Yeah.
Part of American pop culture.
I should.
Congratulations. You're an educator.
Well, now, listen, it's going out to the masses.
He's great.
All right, Jessica.
You did a good job. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You'll be on the radio call tonight with Eric Hasseltine and Elliot Perry's here tonight. Yeah, on ESPN 92.9. We're going to take a quick break. Here's a clip of you and me yesterday morning on your show talking about Ja Morant, and we know he's injured. We think he's going to be back for the opener. Just our thoughts. Here's a clip of that. Rob Fisher joins me on the other side of this.
Without definitively saying I am playing opening night,
Yeah.
he is telling people, chill out, I'm playing opening night.
You know what the tell was for me? When they announced he was going to be out week to week with a sprained ankle. And that night was game 1 of the preseason against the Pistons. And the players all came out, and he was just wearing Ja 3s, unlaced. And I was like, all right, like, I mean, if you're bad off, they're gonna have you in a brace or a cat, yeah, something like that. And Ja didn't have any of that on. So. Welcome back to the warm-up show here on Grind City Media. We're on the court. We're getting warmed up, and Rob Fisher's here.
Hey, how are you, Lang?
The great Rob Fisher joins me now courtside. You got the game tonight on FanDuel. You've been here for the other 2 preseason games. I told Mike Wallace this the other morning on one of the shows. It feels like the preseason doesn't have a lot of meaning to me. Do you agree with that? Or are you finding things to have meaning in these games? Maybe just because we got blown out of the first 2 games.
Yeah, I think I agree with you more, but I know for a fact that coaches wouldn't agree with us.
Yes, of course.
You know, coaches would say that they get things out of this from even a blowout loss. They can get things out of. I guess the one thing that you look at, you know, if you want to look at positives over these last 2 games. You know, your starting 5 did pretty well in the opener against Detroit. In fact, you know, they were all plus, except for Santi, I think it was even.
Yeah.
You know, and so that was pretty good to see. And then in the second game, wasn't really much to take away from that other than I think Jalen Wells was really good. So it was good to see him, you know, show some consistency, show some scoring ability, and do what he did. So I think you can nitpick and find some positives to take out. You can certainly find negatives, and you want to work on those things. You know, I'm just. Brevin has said it a couple of times. You know, we've talked so much about speed and speed kills. Yeah. You want to see it implemented and see how it's working. And I think we've had a hard time kind of seeing how it's working over the first couple of games.
Mike mentioned Cedric Howard. I mean, in the pre-game press conference, Coach Isolo talked about some of the other wing players. We got some point guards. You got Ja, you got Scotty, but this team has a lot of wing guys that some were here last year, some weren't. Yeah. When you look at the construction of this team, the way it's built now, does it tell you? We talked about how in the finals all these teams had a million wings. They were kind of interchangeable. It feels like the NBA is sort of going that direction. Like, do you think the Grizzlies are going that way? And how does that affect the way we play this year compared to past years?
Well, I think you are kind of going that way, and how it affects you is if they can play, they are interchangeable, and you can throw different guys out there. And if you're wanting to play with a lot of speed, you can throw numerous guys out there, and then throw another batch of guys out there, throw another batch of guys out there. And right now, you're just kind of seeing, can they play? You know, I mean, a lot of these guys that played on Wednesday night we're playing against Boston's first unit, and you know these are a lot of guys who aren't going to play. So see what they could do against them, and obviously I think the coaches probably took something away from that. And but yeah, I think it's interchangeable, and the best guys are going to play. And you know we don't see practice, so you don't know what's going on there. All we've seen are these games, and you know with still 3 more games to go, you'll get a better indication of who are the guys that'll be in that top line of the rotation, who are the guys that'll be the first ones ones coming off the bench. And, you know, I think when you have that sort of competition, it's good because guys are going to have to earn their minutes. And I think it's a tough decision for a coach, but it's good for the team.
How do we get through these first few weeks without Jaren, without Zach Edey? I mean, I know Jock Landale's here and then Santi's an option, but we're not going to be able to replace those guys, right? Like, you're just going to have to hope to be close to it.
Yeah, I think you have someone who can resemble Zach Edey and Jock. You know, he's not going to do what
it resembles. That like Frankenstein? Like, what do you mean?
Resembles in that
in the way he plays.
Can set screens. Okay. You know, he can get some. He'll do the dirty work and get some rebounds for you. Yeah. I'm looking forward to watching him play again tonight because I think he's going to be really important. Obviously, because Jaren I think will be back sooner than we think.
Yeah.
I don't know about opening night, but I think he'll be soon after that.
He posted a video on Instagram the other day of him like going hard in practice.
Yeah,
like,
so I think he'll be close. I think Ja, especially after Ja's comments yesterday, I think he'll be back on opening night. But you know, Landale, he's going to have to play because Zach's not going to be back on opening night. So he's going to have to step in and he's going to have to be, you know, a guy that's going to have to do those things, the screens, the rebounding. Yeah. But it's going to take more rebounding from other guys too. You know, can Jaren get more rebounds while Zach is out? Can Santi help crash the boards a little bit more? Can the guards help crash the boards a little bit more? Vince Williams type, you know, is really good on rebounding. You know, is he going to earn those minutes to be able to come in and crash the boards too? So it's going to have to be by committee more than anything. Yeah. I don't think you go into the season thinking we got to just kind of get by until he comes back. I think you got to win games even without Zach Edey. So the Grizzlies working on putting those lineups and those rotations together.
Well, if we win games, we get to see the walk-off interviews with
That's
you.
right. That's right. And who doesn't want to see that? Especially, and maybe Jock Landale will get one. You know,
call you mate.
If you can call me mate. Haven't had that in a few years, so that'd be good.
We always have to have someone call you mate. Right. All right, Rob Fisher, appreciate you. You're on the game tonight.
That's right. 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock on FanDuel Sports Network with Pete and Brevin. We're going to take one more break. We'll come back. Michael Wallace and I are going to go around the NBA and get you out of here. You're watching the warm-up show on Grind City Media.
I had dinner last night with Grizzlies head coach Tomas Isolo, and that was a pleasant experience. It is not hard to understand how a franchise could fall in love with the idea of him running the basketball team. If there would have been a camera on our conversation last night and I could just replay it for you, you would walk away incredibly impressed.
The Gary Parrish Show, live on weekdays at 10 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Jeff Dunham, Artificial Intelligence, his all-new tour.
You're the other white meat. How can you be so smart on one hand and so stupid on the other? Well, you're half of it. I realize I could have avoided all this years ago with one simple word. I do not. Silence!
Don't miss a Memphis. Friday, April 10th, FedEx Forum. Tickets on sale Monday, September 29th at jeffdunham.com.
Why are you dressed like that, CJ? What the hell is wrong with you?
CJ, can you do some high knees?
Is that a towel he has tucked in his shorts? Why are we allowing this?
It's a towel.
Why are we allowing this?
Tune in to the Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt live every weekday at 8 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
What's up? Welcome back to the warm-up show here on Grind City Media. Michael Wallace, Lane Whitaker, and like we always do at this time, let's go around the NBA and look at some of the bigger stories that are being talked about, that are trending. So let's start out in L.A. where we all thought LeBron was retiring for about a day, and then it turns out it was just a Hennessy commercial.
We all did?
Well, I don't know. Some people did.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, it turns out he's back. He's going to play. But now he's hurt. And LeBron's out 3 to 4 weeks with sciatica. Is this the beginning of the end?
I had to look that up,
I just heard it like an old people commercial.
I know.
That's all I knew.
I know.
So, I mean, and LeBron's getting old. He's getting up there for an NBA player.
Yeah.
But he's always seemed like he was kind of indestructible. And now are we starting to see some first signs of him aging a little bit, you think? Or?
Of course, and that's only natural. This is going into season 23. It's unprecedented that a man can, last that long. But he still hasn't missed significant time during a season like that. He's only missed that type of time 1 or 2 times.
Yeah.
I think he's just being real strategic about it. LeBron maximizes his off time as much as he can, especially now. And he's probably going to miss the first 10 games, 15 games of the season, figure out what these Lakers are, and then he'll go ahead and check in and save the day like he always does.
Hopefully he misses that NBA Cup game against us.
Oh yeah,
early in the season here in Memphis. We could use a little.
We need a breakthrough in the Cup.
I know, man.
We need a breakthrough in the Cup.
Sucks. It never worked. It's never worked for us. Survey says we were talking about the NBA GM poll, NBA.com GM poll, which they all do every year, where they anonymously poll the GMs around the league. And the highest thing the Grizzlies placed in this poll was in the question of which teams are hardest to predict their future. Because this Grizzlies team, we really don't know how all this is going to work, how the new coach is going to go, how the new system is going to go. Are we going to be able to stay healthy? The one thing that I thought was interesting was their picks for the teams to make the NBA Finals. The other GMs picked Oklahoma City and Cleveland because Boston's got injuries, and so does Indiana.
Right.
Do you agree with that? Would you take the Thunder and the Cavs?
I didn't on Grizz. My way too early prediction.
Every Wednesday, 2 o'clock on Grind City.
3 o'clock now. We got to push it back. But yeah, my way too early prediction was the Denver Nuggets versus the Cleveland Cavaliers.
All right.
So I'm going a little bit off kilter a little bit, but I love what the Nuggets are doing. I think they're the only team in the West that can unseat Oklahoma City.
They also had Ja Morant as one of the fastest players in the NBA.
Oh, that's no question.
The GM guys.
That's no question. Yes.
Last thing, Team America. Team USA basketball has been coached by Steve Kerr the last few years. It was announced this week that Eric Spoelstra is going to replace Steve Kerr. You covered Eric Spoelstra in Miami.
Yeah.
You think he's a good fit for this role?
Perfect fit. I mean, continuity is there. Usually when you're the lead assistant, you get the next job. Popovich gave it over to Kerr. Kerr is giving it over to Eric Spoelstra. And then eventually Spoelstra will, if he still wants to do it, Spoelstra will eventually give it over to Tyronn Lue, if Lue is still in it. But, the question is, it's his time. It's in L.A., so that's going to make it even more special, and no one's more deserving than Eric Spoelstra.
All right. We got 1 minute before we get you out of here and get you ready for tip-off.
Yes.
Who are you looking forward to seeing tonight, Mike?
I want to see more Ty Jerome.
Yeah.
I was so impressed by what I saw from that man in terms of his command of what he was doing out here. He looked so comfortable. Ty Jerome, give me all the Ty Jerome we can handle.
I love how he doesn't, he's not playing at top speed. He's just kind of in control, but he gets to his spots. He knows when to get a shot, when not to get a shot. He sets up other people. I want to see Serge Coward again tonight because I just want to see him
continue growth.
Yeah, as game 2 went along, he got better as that game was going along and looked more comfortable.
Yes.
And I want to see tonight how he's able to play and also play tonight with some of the better teammates.
Yeah.
Guys who are going to play more during the season and see how
it's going to be a good matchup because if Atlanta's playing some of their frontline guys, that's a nice perimeter wing rotation that he's going to go up against again for the third time.
All right. We'll get you out of here. There's no pregame show on FanDuel, but watch the game, 7 o'clock. We'll see you next week for the season opener on Grind City Media.